How you guys doing? Finally back on the computer. Just have to reinstall everything again. Yeah, we're not gonna let me skip cutscenes, huh? Some things never change. It's actually really bad when games do this. You should be able to always tweak the settings, the graphic settings, like, as soon as you download the game. You should not have to watch any cutscenes. It has nothing to do with black screen. Say black screen. There you go. Just gotta watch this damn cutscene I can't skip. Because somehow we still make games you can't skip cutscenes. Skip. Okay, can I get into the game? I just want to check the settings. Can I just check the settings? Why do games do this? As soon as I download the game, I should be able to tweak every setting to my liking before I start playing. Should not have to watch a cutscene. If you're gonna put a cutscene, you should be able to instantly skip it and pause. Biggest turn on to me is when I can get into a PC game and immediately change the settings and not have to watch anything. Alright, I still can't skip this. Look, it's really hard to make a cutscene skip, guys. Can I play?
You're awake. Let me see. Let me see. Thank goodness you're awake.
Yeah, he passed out. That cutscene was too long.
Last-ditch move. Emergency skills for junior patrollers. Lesson 1.
There ain't no cutscene skip.
Never did it on any living person, though.
Yeah, I know. I have a headache after all these cutscenes I can't skip, too.
Sorry, you just woke up and here I am chatting.
Yeah, you're talking a lot.
Are you alright?
No.
Do you feel any discomfort?
I do not show again. Skip the cutscene. Can I play the game?
I know you can't remember a thing.
Jeez Louise, man. Oh, and the 120 FPS doesn't work either. This is not even a good test of the new computer. Great.
Lover, I know you can't remember a thing, but there's one thing I'm 90%, no, 100%
Yeah, this is
sure
running
about
like
you.
garbage.
You must be a resonator too. You've got a
Stuttering
tassel
like
mark on the
crazy.
back of your hand, and you have a gourd. This is proof you're a resonator. Your gourd's design looks a bit different from the ones we use, though. Also, we have resonators who can detect the formation of tacit fields nearby, like what Yang Yang just did. She can tell all kinds of information by reading the street. It may seem all nice and quiet here
Yeah, you're
now,
talking a lot.
but you never know when a tacit discord
Talking a
might
lot.
pop up out of nowhere. Oh my! Speak of the devil!
Sounds come forth.
Oh, this is stuttering like crazy. What's up with this game, man? On a 4070 Ti Super. It's stuttering like an insane amount. And they don't even have 120 FPS support. Come on now. I really want that game to succeed, but man, they dropped the ball on optimization. Also, the mobile version doesn't even have controller support, which is just like mind-blowing to me. How do you not have basic functionality? Everybody's saying the same thing. Like the combat is a lot better than Genshin, but the optimization is way worse. So a lot of people are going to stick with that game unless they turn things around quick. Which should not be stuttering on a computer that's way more powerful than what it needs. Like, there's no reason that game should be stuttering at all. But like, it seems like I can barely run it somehow. Even though I got 16 gigs of VRAM. Major buzzkill. I'm glad they put out a PC port like right away, but I mean, if you're not going to put any effort into it, what good does it do? Can you guys hear me, by the way? I haven't had time to test anything. I got the computer back, and then I had to immediately go take care of the cats and Scott. So I've had very limited time to actually test anything. Alright, well, let's play something else then. I'm not in the mood for much tech support tonight. I kind of just want to play something, but I thought Wuthering Waves could be like a good test, but it's stuttering like an insane amount. I don't know if it's doing shader compilation or what. It probably is, because as usual, we don't compile shaders at launch anymore. It's really nice when you get a game that just does that. Wolong, as terrible as that port is, does that. Like, I don't mind waiting a couple minutes if, like, the time I actually spend playing the game for the first time is not inundated with stutters. But game devs think that, oh, people have too short attention spans to wait. It's like, well, if the game's going to stutter the entire first playthrough, it's not fun. You might as well just play it on console. I don't understand why it's so hard for them to do, like, basic stuff. Anyway, let's try this game. Let's try this.
「襲名のラスティル」「とこしえの迷宮城」
Good lord, why is this running so bad? $800 graphics card. Does anything just want to work? I can't optimize PC games anymore. There's the card just broken. Which one is it? Everything's running so poorly. It's like we don't optimize games anymore. Yes, stop the game. It's running like crap. There's some roguelike I was trying and it's running like complete trash. I'm really annoyed, man. No one knows how to make a PC port anymore. Better not be the card, because I still owe money on this. It better just work normally and not ever do that again. Because I've already been without a computer and a source of income for over a month and a half. I really have no patience left. I don't know why that game was running so bad. Like, what the hell is the problem? I got that new Prince of Persia roguelike as well. That runs like buns, too. Like, if it's gonna run that bad, you should not release it. Like, you're gonna make an action game, it should not stutter, ever. Not once. Not a single stutter. It's gonna stutter on a computer more than capable of playing it, then go back to the drawing board and don't release it. It's interesting that this keeps happening because it always kills the game's interest. It's happening with Wuthering Waves right now too. I'm not the only one that it's stuttering on. It's got like shader compilation stutter like crazy. I'm like, well then why don't you just compile the shaders at launch? I get that it's an open world game. I'll wait 5-10 minutes. I don't mind. Because I don't care how much better your combat is than Genshin if it runs worse in every facet. Like, it doesn't matter. If you're gonna have good combat, the game needs to not be stuttering. I don't care if you have parries and just dodges and character switch combos and stuff. Like, none of that matters if the game doesn't run properly. Like, it's the least important thing. All those things are just buzzwords if the game doesn't perform well. It's like the last thing I care about. Like, it's nice to have that stuff, but it's not... It shouldn't be the priority if they can't even get it to run without stuttering. Alright, I'm gonna try something else then. I'm starting to really lose patience. Now this damn thing wants to update everything. I miss when games just worked at launch. Wuthering Waves doesn't even have controller support on mobile, and it doesn't have 120 FPS support. Like, how do you not have that? Do you want people to play your game? Or do you want people to... You want people to downvote it and make videos about how bad it is because it doesn't have basic functionality? like, come on, man. Like, we shouldn't have shader compilation stutter anymore. That's like one of the nicest things about the Steam Deck, is it actually, you send your shaders to their server, and what it does is it creates a pre-generated cache. So when you download a game, it's already compiled the shaders from everybody else who plays the game. It's kind of like torrenting. You know, you have like a certain part of the file, and the other computer asks for it, and so on and so forth until you have the full thing. That's basically what it does on Steam Deck. So it's actually really nice when games have native Steam support for Steam Deck, because you can just instantly get the cache, and there should be like almost no stuttering, unless you like just the game like just came out, because then it's only generating the cache off of people that got review keys and have a Steam Deck. I don't know, man. I don't know why devs are so allergic to just like, hey, the game needs to compile shaders so it doesn't stutter. Just like, go take a walk, get something to eat. Take a walk, grab something to eat, use the bathroom, and come back and it's done. And I'm like not about to play a game if it's stuttering. Hard pass. The game's gonna stutter, I'm not gonna play it. Let me see if there's anything I can try with Wuthering Waves. Or I might just have to like try that game when they fix their product, because it should not be stuttering like that under any circumstances. Just compile the shaders at launch. How hard is it? Like basic stuff, man. It's actually really nice when Street Fighter 6 just does that at launch, whether you like it or not. I'm like, yeah, it's a fighting game. If it stutters, the game is unplayable. Like, come on, man. I know attention spans are like at the lowest they've ever been, and TikTok is frying people's brains. But I think the risk of losing people because they have like a goldfish attention span is better than having it stutter the entire time you're playing it until it's compiled everything. Alright, I'm going to try to find out how to get the 120 FPS working. See if maybe that fixes the stuttering, but it probably won't do much. Why do I need to go into a folder to unlock 120 FPS? Like, why do you not have that at launch? It's like you just can't get a you can't get a good PC port anymore. That's why I did this upgrade. So like I knew there's gonna be so many crap ports. At least it'll be somewhat playable. Alright, let's go ahead and try this really quick. I need to go download a fan mod to uncap the frame rate. Really? Oh, man. It's actually interesting going back to PC gaming and having to deal with shader compilation stutter. Alright, let's see if this works. It's probably still going to stutter because of compilation, but maybe it'll work. I don't think it did anything. Oh man.
Strike from the shadows.
Bravo! So you still remember how to fight despite having forgotten everything? Wow! Watch me lead the charge next time. No one messes with my Shao Fu.
The end has come.
Rover, watch out!
Swift and resolute.
Let me be your blade.
Swift and resolute.
Let me be your blade. Catherine!
Fuck this, man. It's like they have all these bonuses to apologize for how broken the game is, but they don't fix anything. Like, why don't you fix the stuttering? Yeah, sure. I don't care if your game has I don't care if your game has good combat if the stuttering is not going to allow me to play it as intended. It literally legit doesn't matter. That's a shame. I kind of wanted to try that game, but I don't have any patience for that. Not when I'm paying $800 for this GPU. I should not have any problems running anything. Shit pisses me the hell off. I wonder why your game's getting bad reviews. I mean, it's warranted. You don't have controller support. It stutters like crazy. It does not play like it should. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's why you're getting bad reviews. It's not because of, I don't know, there's not enough lollies in the game or something. It's actually like legit reasons why it's... It seems like it's actually making a decent amount of money, but they're kind of at a crossroads because they have so many people pissed at them. It's like, yeah, I understand. You just can't expect things to work at launch. It does not matter how good your computer is. They put less and less effort into making PC ports now. They want it out frame one. I'm like, dude, I'll gladly wait 6 to 12 months to have something that just works at launch. That was like kind of the problem with Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts was actually a pretty cool game. It like actually wasn't bad at all. It definitely suffered from, you know, being compared to Monster Hunter, which is very unfair because there's been like 20 years of Monster Hunter games, but it ran like buns on everything, and like people just don't have tolerance for that anymore. Like if my computer can like command a space shuttle, then it should be able to run something like that, no problem. I shouldn't have to fight with it at all. As soon as I have to, I lose interest. Alright, well I'm going to download something else because I'm having shit luck with games right now. Nothing wants to work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this instead. This stream is kind of a disaster. I'm sorry I don't have the patience to fight with settings when I have a computer that should just run everything, no problem. Alright, let's see what's good to install here. Be a good benchmark. Yeah, Rico, I wanted to do some of that tonight, but that's not working right now either. That keeps crashing when I try to get into gameplay, so that's not happening tonight, unfortunately. Having a lot of bad luck right now. How many gigs is this? I forgot this game is like fucking massive. I kind of wanted to try this again, but I don't feel like downloading 80 gigs right now. The games get bigger, but they run worse. It's like they're like approaching 100 gigs for a decent game now, but then they run like shit anyway. It like doesn't even make a difference. What can I install here that's relatively quick? I really didn't have time to reinstall everything. I got the computer back like only like about 5 hours ago, and then I had to set everything up again because the Windows clone did not work. So I basically have to reinstall everything from scratch. Which luckily for me is not too bad, but it's definitely going to take a couple days. So I guess it's my fault for expecting small games to just work. Something that runs on a phone. No, you can't expect that to work. It's gonna stutter like a parrot trying to tell you it's hungry. Like, nah, man, that shit should work out of the box. Let's see here. What else do I have that's like actually a good benchmark? Well, I could try this, huh? I'm really sad I missed the launch hype for this, but this game is kind of a mess. I don't know if you guys go in my Discord, but basically, the loot sucks. And it doesn't suck because you can't make fun builds. It sucks because when you get to the end game, most of the builds aren't viable. There's only a couple builds that are viable. And also the way that the loot system works, where you have like different rarities, tiers of rarity, and then the last couple rarities, meaning the ones that you can actually use in the end game, you have so little to work with. And then in that, there's even less that's actually viable. And combine that with the fact that like most of the end game bosses are anti-melee. This game's gonna get destroyed by Gundam Breaker 4, unfortunately. Gundam Breaker 4 would have to be really bad to have worse loot than this game. It's a shame because it is really fun to play, and like the controls are really nice. The mechs are like really responsive and stuff. They're not like Armored Core mechs. They're more like super robots, like G Gundam or Super Sentai, Power Rangers mecha and stuff. But the builds are just trash. There's so little that's viable. Everybody's running basically the same thing. There's so many forum posts about how people just hit a brick wall once you get to the final difficulty. I'm like, it should be challenging, but it shouldn't be like most of the stuff that you want to do will not work anymore, and you have to go find like the 3 people that are actually doing builds to actually play the game. I don't know, man. I think they really banked on the game being more popular than it is, but like, how are you going to achieve that when you don't give review keys? There's no professional reviews for like actual professional outlets or like specialist channels like mine, or even just big channels. They didn't give out keys to anybody. It's like, do you just want the game to fail? I mean, I think this game is still worth buying. If you don't expect the end game to be fun, it has an actual decent story compared to most hunting games. So, and you can definitely still get a couple dozen hours out of it if you just want to roll the credits and stop playing. I think it's worth it for that. But if you're in it for the grind, you're the average hunting game player, and you're not really caring too much about the story, it's not worth buying, unfortunately. You either have to follow one of the guides that's been proven that I can actually beat all the BS in the end game, or have actual friends to play with. There's no player base, and there's very few content creators. Which really sucks, because I actually did have a lot of fun with it. You can say I played it for like almost 80 hours. I definitely got my money's worth. That's why I'm like I'm not too bent out of shape over it, but it's kind of a shame that they just completely dropped the ball in the end game. You're gonna give me so much loot, and have so many different cool ways to like build your character, but then like most of them don't work. I think that's kind of a problem. I guess we could try this right now. Sure. What's up, Fuma? Yeah, I have bad news. The Warriors Orochi 4 mod is not working on my computer. I guess because it's too new or something. And Fragon's out of town for a few days, so we'll have to play that game on Steam Deck, which is fine. It's working fine on there. Can probably stream it off there, but I'm not setting that up tonight. I tried Wuthering Waves and it stutters like a parrot. The shader compilation stutters out of control, so I had to give up on playing that too. I'm hearing with Wuthering Waves, people that have better computers, it's running worse than people who can like just barely meet the requirements. Which is a telltale sign of a really jacked port. If you have a better computer, it runs worse. Yeah, because they can't simply just compile the shaders at launch. They always are so they fall in prey to people's short attention spans. They don't realize that it almost always backfires. The game stutters, people are going to complain. Just compile the shaders at launch, man. Why is that so much to ask? it's less that. It's less they want to get you into the game so quick. But then it's compiling shaders, so the entire first playthrough sucks. That's one thing that the Steam Deck has mostly fixed. The Steam Deck can't run the most high-powered AAA games, but like having a pre-built shader cache is actually really nice. Because it essentially means, yes, it's annoying when you turn it on and it needs to update like 30 different games with a shader cache. That part sucks. And they do need to fix that in Valve's defense. I think that is one of the worst things about the Steam Deck. But having it be pre-compiled means that you can sometimes get a better experience than playing on PC. And I think that that's really cool. And the reason that they can do that is because the hardware is all exactly the same. Because shaders aren't compiled equally. They're compiled differently depending on your hardware configuration. But it really sucks when you go back to PC gaming and everything just keeps stuttering. I'm like, just let me take the 10 minutes. I don't mind. I can go for a walk, go hang out with the cats, take a dump, have a snack, like watch a video or something. Like I totally don't mind. It's actually really nice that Wo Long, despite how jacked up that port is too, like it actually compiles the shaders at launch. I'm like, why don't other games do this? I got a review key for the new roguelike Prince of Persia, and that game does that too. I'm like, how did you guys not find this? Have you guys seen the forum? I'm gonna show you guys the forum. You want a quick laugh while this downloads? It's only gonna take a couple more minutes, but let me go find this. There's people with like 4090s. The game is stuttering. I'm like, what the hell, man? You can't even expect like a 2.5D indie game to work anymore. That's the state of PC gaming right now. And like, dude, these people should be able to run Cyberpunk at like 120 FPS. How does this indie game not work? Come on now. Got a memory leak. 200 FPS to 44. Oh, God. Shit's getting exhausting. That's why I said in my Discord, I'm getting ready for the worst PC ports. I totally expect Final Fantasy XVI to be a disaster. Very high chance that game is not going to work at launch, even with a NASA-powered computer that could put like the entire planet into orbit. It won't be enough to run that game. I mark my words right now. Go ahead and make a clip of it. I'm like almost positive. That game is probably going to stutter as well because they won't compile the shaders at launch. So every time you push a button, it's going to stutter. That game already has like really bad performance as it is. I think what's ironic is Samurai Warriors 5 is actually like a really good PC port because it compiles shaders at launch. The problem is it doesn't tell you it's doing that. They couldn't get an intern to type like a basic little UI tooltip that tells you that it's compiling shaders. But the first time that you launch that game, you get a black screen for like a full minute. But after that, there's no stuttering at all. I'm like, why do these like weeb trash Muso games get it right, and then like these big games don't? I legit do not understand it. Like Samurai Warriors 5, no one cares about that game, but like actually it does what's right. You don't want the game to stutter every time it's got to load a new shader for an attack. Like that's shit for a action game. Remember when I got Tales of Berseria of that game, and the AI didn't move unless you had controllers hooked up. The port was like jacked for like a week, and they didn't fix it until like a week in. So I had like my arcade stick on the top of my computer. I had like 3 controllers hooked up just to get the AI to move. I'm like, did nobody in QA testing notice? How did they not notice that the AI stands there unless controllers are plugged in? It takes literally like 30 minutes of playing the game to realize that that's a problem. How do you not notice that? Like, come on. You know, the games, I'm not saying the games have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect. But when it's stuff that you're just playing like by yourselves, you're playing for like a few minutes and it's already happening. It's just like, come the fuck on, man. Yeah, my room looked like a Smash tournament with like 4 controllers hooked up just to get the party to move. Great port. Clearly, you guys worked really hard on the QA testing. And playing the game casually for less than an hour, I find a bug that makes the game almost unplayable. And it happens to everybody. And somehow, you guys ship the game like that, and then don't fix it for like a week. Great job. Actually, let's go ahead and review some of the meme PC ports in here. What's some of the worst stuff that I've bought? This game, I got a donation for this game, and the 120 FPS doesn't work. If you try to put it on 120 FPS, it's really laggy, and they like still haven't fixed it. This port was really terrible at launch as well. But if you get a better computer, it runs fine. Star Ocean Divine Force had a ton of stuttering. The stuttering in this game was awful. And what made it worse is that this game actually did have pre-compiled shaders. You could compile the shaders before you started playing the game, which is like the sign of a good PC port. The problem is it didn't work, and it still stuttered like crazy. Once they got rid of Denuvo, the game was fine. As you can see, I played it for like 40 hours. I beat it and everything. But yeah, this port was a disaster as well. I'm like, you got one thing right. You actually let me compile the shaders before I start playing, so that it's not a stutter fest. But then it still was stuttering anyway. It did not much. Ys 8 as well. The problem with this port was not performance. The problem with this port was bugs. Every time you got out of the tutorial, the game would crash. It crashed like crazy. And what made it worse was that you couldn't save until you got out of the tutorial, which means crash landing on the island. But as soon as you got onto the island, the game would crash. So you legit had to keep playing the tutorial countless times until the game decided to cooperate and let you save. Because you can't save until you're like, I don't know, watching all the cutscenes and playing casually, it's about 10 minutes. Even skipping the cutscenes, it's several minutes. They released this port in a complete disastrous state. It's not even playable. It ran fine from what I remember. I don't think there were like any actual performance issues, but the fact that you couldn't actually get to the part of the game where, 99% of the content is without it crashing, it basically was unplayable. I mean, like, technically you could play it, but you shouldn't have to do that. It shouldn't be crashing every time you get onto the island. What else we got here that was really bad? The new one, Samurai Warriors 4 DX. It like stutters on Steam Deck every time you like push a button. It drops frames like crazy, which is really disappointing. But other than that, it seems fine. Spirit of Sanada is just weeb trash Arkham Knight. They didn't optimize it at all. You still need a really good computer to play this for some reason. Dynasty Warriors 9 was just another weeb trash Arkham Knight. It ran terribly. The CPU usage was really high. Despite the graphics not being great, it was like really demanding. I wasn't really able to play it very well until I upgraded my computer, and then I had like no issues, but it definitely seemed like he needed way more requirements than what it was asking for. Arslan, same thing. I really enjoyed this game, but no one could play it at launch, and they like don't put it on sale because they know how jacked the port is. Same thing with this. This game I actually didn't like that much, admittedly, but when I played it, when did I last play this? Like, it was about 2 years ago. I had no problems, but playing it at launch was like almost impossible. Wild Hearts, complete garbage performance. I really wanted to play this game, but I have a hard time giving stuff a chance when it doesn't play like it should. Valkyrie Elysium, lots of stuttering. Insane amount of stuttering. Avengers was also a terrible port too. I think the funny thing about Avengers is like the engine was not made for having that much stuff going on. It was made for like, they used the Tomb Raider engine for it, but then they have like 30 times more things happening on screen, and the game just ran like shit on everything until they did the PS5 version. I had some fun with this game, but I can't help but feel they were set up to fail. I felt like the development team actually wanted to deliver a better game than they could. But there was so much meddling, being forced to use an engine that's not meant for like co-op stuff, and having crazy particle effects everywhere, and then like probably working with Disney is probably a nightmare. We all know that from the Marvel vs. Capcom series, how much control Disney had over Marvel Infinite to the point that it had like no art style, terrible music, terrible roster, but like the gameplay was actually really fun. This game was kind of the same. I'd say the worst thing about it was the loot was terrible. The loot was really boring. I feel like if you're going to do a loot game, the loot should actually be fun. And it should be fun to actually sort through it and make builds, but the builds are very boring. That's kind of the problem with this game I'm about to play. The loot in this game gives you the illusion of choice. Yeah. Change this here. Alright, this is not running like it should be. I think something's wrong with the computer. I just want stuff to work, man. I'm so exhausted. Why is it running like this? I want to take it back. I just set it up. Just can't have anything just work. Ever. Why is this running so bad? What's wrong with it? Why am I not getting 120 FPS in this game? What the hell? Why does nothing ever just want to work out for me? I don't understand what's wrong. It's like they didn't do it right or something happened. I owe so much money on this. I need this to work now. I'm panicking. I can't have this happen. Been through hell this whole thing. Now this doesn't want to work. Great. Just load. Better fucking work.
Devil May Cry.
Screen is frozen, of course. Nothing wants to work. Alright, you gonna load or what? Or just don't load. Can I have something just work, please? It's driving me nuts. Thank you. Why did that take so long?
Hey, we doing this or what?
Just gotta load more. This game's got way too many load screens. Come on! Just get into gameplay.
I need to catch up to V. Fast. What a mess.
I don't think this is running as well as it should be. I had better performance before. I don't know if it's placebo or not, but I think something's wrong. And I really don't want there to be, because it's been back and forth with this thing for almost 2 months now. I want the thing to just work like it's supposed to. This card should be like 60% better, and it's not doing that right now. I don't know if they forgot to undervolt it, to stop undervolting it, or what. Major fucking anxiety right now. Actually, I might know why. Hold on. That's why I just wanted my Windows back the way it was. So I don't have to reinstall all this, because it's stressful. Better not be broken. Alright, if this works, then it should be fine. Alright, well, this seems to be working fine, so I think maybe some of the settings are off or something. Because I could not run this at 120 before. This game I had to cap at 60 because it would stutter like crazy. I also don't have the E-cores turned off and the game is working fine, so I think this jacked game is actually probably the best proof that it's working fine, and maybe there's like some other kind of issue or something. Because I used to get a lot better performance on that Muso mode for DMC5. I used to get that running just fine before, but this time is running like way worse. It's possible that they may have undervolted or something and they forgot to turn it back on. I'll probably have them check on it later today. I'm sorry I'm getting frustrated, but I'm paying like $900 for this new card, so I really do not have any patience at all right now. I think people should be able to understand that, hopefully. Spending a lot of money on this. I kind of need things to just work as expected. Other thing I can try is transferring things to the new drive, but I don't understand why like certain stuff is running like really poorly. I think I have a right to be frustrated. It's a lot of money. This channel's also not making much money right now either, because it's basically been on life support for almost 2 months now, so I need to take that into consideration too. I have a right to be frustrated. I just have to keep chipping away at it and figure out what's wrong. But this is working fine, and this port is horrendous, so I think that's all the proof I need. Well, you know, I've had people say I get too frustrated. Like, you know, I don't like being frustrated. It's one of those things that comes with being mentally ill, is you get easily frustrated. I wish I didn't have it, but it's something I just have to live with. People don't have to like it, but I wish people could have a little bit more compassion. I'm a nice guy if you get to know me, but I don't think it's overheating because the fans aren't coming on, so at least there's that. I'm thinking that maybe something happened when the computer was in the car. I hope not, but I mean it booted up and everything. It's just it's not running like it should be, and it's giving me really bad anxiety, like an uncontrollable amount. Better not have to send anything back. I'm going to be really upset if I have to. Completely close out Steam. You know what, I'll try that, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and stop for tonight. I'm actually very anxious right now. I mean, you know some of the personal stuff I've been dealing with, and I'm not really going to talk about that on the channel, but yeah, I'm not doing too great right now, so I need to reduce how hard I try to fix this right now, and just try later. Close out Steam with Task Manager and boot it back up. Alright, I guess I'll try that. That's like the last thing I'll try tonight, because I'm starting to get really frustrated and anxious. The only thing I can really do when I get like this is to just stop. But I have difficulty stopping. I always keep trying, and I get like more frustrated. And I'm realizing I'm at that point right now, so I'm going to try this one thing. I'll try this one thing, and then I'm done for tonight. So either it's placebo, or there's something that's easily fixable that they will just tell me tomorrow. So I think that's probably the best course of action right now. Completely close out Steam with Task Manager and boot it back up. Right, I'll try that. I'm giving this like 1 or 2 shots, and then I'm not messing with this anymore tonight, because I'm starting to get really pissed off. Rightfully so. I spent a lot of money on this, but I can't keep escalating. It's far too late. I need to put a hard cap. It's probably something really stupid. I will just go away, or might need to tweak stuff a little bit. I don't know. The mod's not working. The guard cancel is working, but the frame rate's not working. You're onto something, though. You're onto something. That's weird. The game wasn't even going into gameplay before, and now it is, but the frame rate won't increase, which is weird. Alright, let's try this again. Fuma, you fixed it! Fuma, you're a hero. Fuma, you're getting promoted. You noticed that I was getting frustrated, and you gave me the solution. Well, welcome to the team. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, you should have been a mod a while ago, but... I guess I should explain this for people who don't understand neurodiversity. It can be a positive and negative trait. You know, not wanting to give up easily. The problem is when you're neurodiverse. And I mean, like, different kinds of neurodiverse. You know, there's people that are autistic, or they're just depressed and anxious like I am, or they have trauma. I have a hard time starting a task, but like, once I start it, despite how frustrated I might get, I cannot stop. It's really hard for me to stop. So that's one of the things I was working on. Like, I was only going to give this like 2 tries. And if it didn't work, I was just going to stop. Because that's really the only thing I can do when I get like that. I'm thankful for the people who understand. I definitely sucks living with it. But it has positive and negative traits. Like, people like me can be reliable to do something if it needs to be done in like a certain period of time or stuff like that. But if it gives me any trouble, I get like increasingly frustrated and I don't stop when I should. I'm pretty sure the computer is fine. Just some of the games aren't working properly. I might need to reinstall them or put them on the different drive or something. It's probably something simple like that. But I'm not really willing to give it any more stress tonight. Yeah, this game is just fun to play. It's devoid of... Well, I won't say it's devoid of challenge. You definitely can make this game challenging, but it's nice to just play to kind of, you know, wind down and not get triggered. But we always get so... everybody's so obsessed with how hard a game is now. Like, you can't just, like, have fun playing something. And, like, I like challenging games, I like challenging myself and stuff, but sometimes I just want to play this, you know? Especially when I'm, like, already on edge from something unrelated to the game, like things in my personal life or just my anxieties giving me hell. Like, I kind of just want to play something like this. But now everything needs to be a Souls-like. Like, not really. Times I just want to relax, man. Oh, welcome. Well, I haven't had a computer for about a month and a half, and I just got it back last couple hours ago, so I'm just doing some testing right now. And I've encountered some issues, but like I was just saying, I'm not really in the mental state to process fixing them right now. So I'm just playing stuff that I know works. Because like I said, I have a really hard time, like, stopping when I get frustrated. It's actually really difficult for me. I'm glad that most people understand. but I definitely have had some people that have left because I get frustrated, and you know, that's fine. That's the curse of being neurodiverse, is some people just aren't gonna like you. That's fine. I don't like living with it. I'm more concerned about I gotta deal with this the rest of my life. I'm not really too concerned about what people think. Well, people would have a little bit more compassion than that, but for some people that's too much to ask. Can't have a little bit of compassion for somebody who's like clearly having issues outside of the game. Like, no, the guy's just getting upset at the game. Like, no, there's more to it than that. I'm proud of myself for stopping. I was getting really heated, and I feel a little bit better now. It's a blessing and a curse, really. I've always been, like, reliable. Like, people can rely on me to be at a place at a certain time. Pretty much always. Because to avoid screwing up, I'll arrive like an hour early. It's not all bad. I don't want to spin it like it's a superpower, but there are some positive things to it. Anxiety can make you really prepared for, like, almost any situation, even though most of the time things will be just fine and you don't need to go to such lengths, you know? The bus will be there, the train will leave on time, but you'll bring, like, you know, a whole big bag of snacks and water and stuff, even though you don't need it. It does have some positive and negative traits. The only thing I can really do to control it is just kind of notice when I'm getting really heated and frustrated, and you know, I'm getting in that state where I get, like, really angry, and it's not at anybody, it's mostly just at myself. Yeah, I've definitely made some progress, and that's all I can really ask. It's just try to not get so mad at myself. Well, it's not really towards anybody. It's not towards a person.
最後はしばしの会議の方で案内するのだ。私までよ。
今こそ攻め立ててやろう。長年見舞いに来た知略、味は迷いず。
私の指示は勝てんか。
I thank you guys for understanding. But obviously I've also been under a lot of stress. Well, I've lost some people in the community and some friends because of it as well, and I really beat myself up over that, but it's like, you know, if they don't have the compassion to realize it's not directed at anybody but myself, then I don't really need them around. 'Well, there definitely are people that are just angry at other people, especially on YouTube. There's a lot of that, for sure, but it's definitely a problem with live streaming, for sure, is you have people that are really just trying to get under your skin. And like a lot of those cringe compilations are either people faking being angry to get popular, or they happen like after their chat is like actually trying to really piss them off. Some big streamers have just straight mind-numbing chats. And in those clips, it always looks like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be yelling at your viewers, and like, well, sometimes it's warranted. You don't really get the context in those compilations. It just looks like, oh, this guy is mauling at his people that pay his bills. I'm like, that's not always it. There definitely are cases where that is what it is, but sometimes it's like dealing with really stupid people trying to get under your skin deliberately to try to get you in a cringe compilation. I'm lucky I haven't had too many people try to do that to me. There's definitely been some people that have attempted to do that, but I just banned them. But yeah, that's kind of my take on cringe compilations. A lot of times the context is lost, or they're not even angry, they're deliberately doing it to... They're deliberately doing it to get under the streamer's skin. clip going around Twitter of some fighting game streamer, and I won't say his name, but like, people were hating on him. I'm like, dude, clearly his chat is like pushing him to his breaking point. And it's his job to put up with that, yes, but he's human. You don't have to be nice to people just because they're, you know, supporting you financially on here. And usually the people that do it are ones that aren't subbed anyway. That's the thing that's always lost in context too. The people that are actually supporting you financially are usually like the best people in your community, and it's not because they're giving you money. It's because they believe in you enough to give you that money, which means that they don't deliberately try to troll you and get you pissed off. I mean, the benefit of that is that they give you money, yes, but that's not why they're upstanding members of the community, because they actually care about you as a person. A lot of my favorite people that come in here have, like, never sent me a cent. I don't really care about that. Like, I need the support, yes. I'm not gonna say that I don't, because that's a straight-up lie, but there's lots of people in here that come in and, you know, they want to support and they can't, and I totally understand that. I can't support everybody I watch. I wish I had the money to just drop a couple hundred on the people I watch, because, you know, they get me through rough times, but that's not how things work. Take care of yourself first. Yeah, thank you guys for understanding. I definitely have not been in the best mental state, and it's good to have the computer back, but there's definitely going to be some technical problems and stuff. I'm probably going to have to make some phone calls later today and work with it a little bit more, but never support me unless you can take care of yourself first. I legit don't want people to be supporting me if they're not able to care for themselves. That's not how things work around here. You help if you can. I'm not going to say I don't need the help, but, you know, if you've got the disposable income, sure. But don't feel obligated to. But yeah, that clip really rubbed me the wrong way because, like, the context was not in that clip at all. It's just him getting really mad at his chat. It's like, dude, he was probably getting bullied by trolls for like an hour before that, and he's just reacting like any human would. And the thing about being a content creator is you actually can clap back at people that are treating you like garbage. And when you're working a normal job, it's a lot harder to do that. Because there's definitely... We've all had our fair share of being in front of people, you know, soccer moms and stuff, throwing a fit and acting like children. And they have kids that are more mature than them. We've all been in that position. When you work retail, you don't have the benefit of clapping back. And that's one of the nice things about streaming, even if you're not doing it for, you know, like your full-time job. You can actually clap back at people that are treating you like garbage. The problem is it always gets like uploaded out of context. It's always like, oh, this guy is terrible to his chat. I'm like, dude, they were probably pushing him to his breaking point for like an hour before that clip was taken. Like, he probably had like every right to be that angry, but those are the things you don't see in those clips. I used to really have that problem too. I used to get like people saying stuff to me that made no sense and obviously just really trying to get under my skin, and I used to argue with them, and like one of the things I stopped doing was that. I'm like, these people aren't contributing anything to my community. It's not about whether they donate or not. It's just that they're not doing anything that's remotely positive at all. They're trying to get under my skin and incite arguments. They're not needed. And once Once you realize that, it gets a lot easier to put yourself on here. It's just like, you know what, this person is not adding anything to my community. They're making me angry on purpose to try to put me in a cringe compilation. It's better to just ban them. And some people might think that, you know, maybe you need to give these people a chance. I'm like, nope, they don't need a chance. You deal with some of the stupidest people on earth when you're a content creator. And like most of those clips are like the guy is dealing with that crap and he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. I totally get it. Anyway, let's see if I feel like doing testing one more thing, and then I'm probably gonna go to bed. It's getting late. Well, the fact that you supported a few times is more than enough. Don't feel obligated to. Just because a streamer asks for help doesn't mean that you need to help them. I understand that people want to and they can't, and that's fine. I'm not in a position to help anybody right now. I want to. I have streams I watch around this hour from people from other countries. I really wish I could give them like $500. Like, hey, you know, you help with my nighttime anxiety by streaming. I think that's worth a couple $100, but I don't have that money to give. Most people are happy with the thought. They're happy with the thought that you would do that if you were able to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that stuff takes it takes no effort to make. It's like the most low effort content you can make. It's basically just making a living off other people. Yeah, those cringe compilations are almost always missing context. I don't know if I could find that tweet right now, but he was like, clearly, it wasn't funny at all. I actually felt bad for him. I'm like, he probably had things going on outside of the stream and outside of whatever game he was playing that was really making him angry. But then his chat was trying to get under his skin too. And he like clearly was just at a breaking point where he was not able to restrain it anymore. And people were like, "Oh, this guy's an asshole." I'm like, "Why don't you put yourself in his shoes? Like, do you know what he deals with when he turns his stream off? No." And like, is it okay to yell at people that are deliberately trying to piss you off? Yes. When you're not working a retail job, yes. That's one of the few advantages to doing this. You can just ban somebody and tell them that, you know, they're making you angry. You can just do it. And you don't work retail, you don't have that luxury. I don't know, if we told people what they needed to hear more often, I think there'd be a lot less people lashing out in violent ways. I really do believe that. Because there's a lot of people like me that don't cope like I do, and they've done unforgivable things. And I'm really thankful that I know when I'm getting that angry, and I know the steps to take to, you know, to not get to that point. You know, like, I was getting frustrated with things not running as they should, so I stopped doing it. What's up, Grow? Yeah, I definitely went through that with my YouTube channel. I just don't put up with that crap anymore. People want to try to put me in a cringe compilation, go ahead. But I'm not going to sit here and humor it. If people are just really trying to get under my skin and incite a reaction, I'm not going to put up with that anymore. I feel a lot better after I stopped doing that. I just banned those people. And I really don't care what anyone thinks. It's like, well, I gotta take care of my mental health. And these people aren't contributing anything to me at all, so... as far as I'm concerned, they can go kick rocks. You definitely have to have a thick skin and a lot of patience to do content creation. Even if you're not making a living off it, because you just get so much stuff flung at you all the time. Alright, let's try like one or two more games, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. It's getting late. I'll probably fix whatever's wrong after I wake up with like a clear head, clear mind, and I definitely don't have a clear mind right now. I'm very frustrated and not thinking straight. There's been certain games that are like performing worse, and I don't quite know why, but I probably need to reinstall them anyway, because this is a fresh install of Windows with all the programs erased, because they tried to clone off my old drive, but then the Windows install got corrupted, so I have to reinstall everything. But I don't really have that many programs in this computer. It's mostly just a gaming PC that I can also use for adult stuff like paying bills and paying bills and ordering food and stuff like that, and documents and stuff, but I don't really have a lot of programs on here. It's mostly just games. And for the most part, it seems to be working fine. There's some stuff that seems to be performing worse than before, but there's probably just some setting or something, and they'll help me with that. But I just decided, instead of getting more tilted, I'm just not going to fight with that anymore tonight. I will defend myself a little bit. I've already explained how being neurodiverse makes it hard to stop tasks, and you get easily frustrated, but it actually is running a lot worse than it was before. Hold on. Maybe it's because it's putting on an extra high. Let's try high. Well, this seems to be working fine. Actually, I follow the Instagram of a mother of an autistic teenager, and I'm really glad I made that decision because that account really gave me a lot of self-reflection on what I deal with like my low frustration threshold and stuff. I've always beaten myself up over it a lot, and that woman's account was like, yeah, you have a hard time starting and stopping tasks. You can't stop when you get frustrated. I'm like, wow, that sums me up right there. I never really thought that it's that simple. It's just what sucks about it is the only thing that you can really do is just kind of have to be in tune with yourself, and like, you know, you're getting pissed off and you just like stop doing what you're doing. And that's definitely kind of what I'm working. That's what I've been working on the past year or so. It's just realizing when I'm getting like really angry and like I need to stop like right now. I noticed that I was getting angry earlier and I had to stop and do something else. So I played some Orochi for a bit and that pretty much fixed it.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I was just talking about how this woman who takes care of an autistic teenager, she really basically just summed up my entire mental health history with like a video of her daughter just having fun. She's like, yeah, I have to tell my daughter when it's time to stop. And I'm like, you know, I need somebody to do that for me. That's exactly what I need. But I'm getting better at doing it myself. Just realizing when I'm getting tilted. Can't see the screen. Yeah, my neighbor's brother is autistic, and he gets, like, even more frustrated than I do. He gets very easily frustrated, and he has really rough days. You know, he's actually like a really nice person. He has a really kind heart, but he gets frustrated far too easily, and you know, he has a family that yells at him a lot. And I try to have as much patience with him as I can because I understand. But he doesn't really have any other friends because of it. And, you know, that really sucks. The world isn't really designed for neurodiverse people at all. That's one thing you gotta come to terms with when you're neurodiverse, regardless of what you have. It's just like, the world's not designed for people like us. And once you realize that, it's a little bit easier. It's like, you know, it's not entirely your fault. Okay, so what's my GPU usage at right now? Let me pull it up really quick. It's weird. It's like not really being utilized much, but I'm not getting as many frames. I'm getting about the same amount of frames as I did before, which is kind of strange. But I'm sure there's some real easy way to fix it. All right, I'm gonna do like one Orochi map to end the night. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and tweak the mod a little bit. And I'm going to do like one more map to kind of wind down. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a stream. Seems like most things are working, so I'll probably do some more tweaking when I'm not streaming tomorrow. That way, if I get upset, nobody will have to hear it. Yeah, autism is just like everything else. When you're neurodiverse, it's just like the world isn't built for you, and it sucks. But once you realize that, you feel a lot better, because it's like you're just not given a good hand from the start, but you can still make a good life for yourself. That's kind of where I'm at right now, personally. I did not move here by choice. I had friends screw me over. And that's a big part of why I have abandonment trauma. But, you know, over time, I carved out a good life for myself. I have a couple good friends here. For a time, I had a nice gaming place to go to, and that shut down, but Obviously, I don't take fault for that. That's not my fault. You know, and I have my neighbors' family and the cats, and you know, they really depend on me and they need me and stuff, and that's more than a lot of people have. And I definitely struggle with things that... others don't, but I still get by. I function as an adult. I can pay my bills, I can, you know, run errands and stuff, I can take care of myself, and I know that there's a lot of people like me that cannot do that, so... Alright, we're gonna do one map and go to bed. I'm getting tired. Mentally and physically, I'm very tired. What does the reshader do? I don't quite know what that does.
父親と一緒ならうまく連携が取れるはずだ。 せっかくの増援もこのままじゃ無駄になる。力を発揮できる相手のもとへ誘導すべきだろうな。
I'll make a video about it probably in the afternoon. You guys have to keep in mind, I haven't been able to do mic commentary since mid-April. I've been running this channel off a Steam Deck, like a tiny portable computer that has the processing power of like a mid-range computer from like 8 years ago. So all the stuff that people want, like the guides and the overviews and stuff, I like have not been able to make. And I have like a massive backlog of stuff I need to make. And I plan to, at some point this week, all the stuff that I was playing on Steam Deck that I wanted to do overviews and guides for, I'm gonna do all that stuff and just put them all up like one a day. But I haven't been able to do mic commentary. I've been running this entire channel off the Steam Deck. It's actually really a testament to that thing's quality that I was even capable of doing that. Like play like probably like 60% of the stuff that I own runs just fine on there with a bit of elbow grease and definitely some frustration. Yeah, I'll be back to normal in a couple days. Today is mostly just tech support. Hey, good night, man. Thank you. The problem was the cooler. The cooler broke, and the cooler company is one of those companies that won't just send you a new one right away. They need to make sure that it's not working. So it took like fixing the computer was basically flatlined until a couple days ago. Because it took like 2 weeks, a week and a half for them to send the cooler. So in the process, I got a new graphics card, which I'm testing out right now, and I'm definitely getting some weird issues with certain games, but instead of getting pissed off about that right now, I'm just kind of chilling. lower the amount of things I can get frustrated about, because I've had some personal things unrelated to the channel that have really been giving me hell lately. So, got a little bit of a limit on how frustrated I can get right now. I definitely had a period last week where a lot of my anxiety symptoms came back, so I kind of got to watch it. I'm proud of myself for stopping when I was frustrated earlier. That's actually like really hard for me to do. Uh, 4070 Ti Super, 16 gigs VRAM. Yeah, it's at 37% usage right now. Playing this at max settings with 144 FPS. Not bad. I'll fix the problem with those other games later. It's not worth the stress right now. I'm glad people have been patient. The channel has pretty much been on life support since mid-April. Over a month now. Channel earnings definitely took a major hit. The check that I got this month was $38. Not making that up, by the way. That's alright. I'm glad some people stuck around at least. It's definitely good to know that if I ever travel or something happens with the computer again, which is unlikely, that, you know, I can still run the channel with the Steam Deck. I don't play too many AAA games, actually. Most stuff I play is like mid-range. I don't really play like Cyberpunk with ray tracing or anything. It's nice that I could do that if I somehow wanted to, but the benefit to that is, you know, if I ever need to travel or go somewhere, I can just simply use the Steam Deck. I can still run the channel. Like, I might go see my mom and grandma later this year, and I'm definitely not bringing the computer. It'd be a nightmare to get that thing all the way to New Jersey. I totally would just bring the Steam Deck and just play like indie games and stuff. This game, if you work with it a bit, actually works perfectly on Steam Deck. It's way better than the Switch version. The Steam Deck is actually pretty good for Musou games, for the most part. You're definitely not going to run them at max settings and have a good frame rate, but if you're willing to accept low to medium graphics in 720p, like, most of the Musou games on Steam run perfectly. You just gotta work with them a little bit. So mine's pretty much all pre-configured. This game runs at 60 FPS, pretty much locked. Certain magic attacks will make it have a little bit of a brain fart, but it works otherwise. I've been playing this modded on Steam Deck the past couple days. The turbo mode and everything. I mean, there's never really a good time to upgrade. Everybody always says wait for the next one. It's like, well, you wait for the next one and then there's going to be another one in a couple years. Not even a couple years. Sometimes it's like only 2 or 3 years. There's already another one. Like, there's never a good time. People overthink it way too much. Like, yeah, the 50 series is coming, but those things are going to have all these manufacturing issues and all this other stuff's going to be wrong with it. And it probably won't be much better than what I have. So, I, like, really don't care. At least with graphics cards, there's actually, like, never a good time to upgrade. If you're able to afford it financially, you should just do it. If it's like an actual sizable upgrade. That's not your computer, that's the engine. My old rig could run this game at 120 FPS locked, for the most part. And certain sacred treasures would tank the frame rate. Konomida. I don't know, I think the 50 series would be pretty good, but every single time there's a new generation of graphics cards, what ends up happening is the first ones are they're either impossible to get, they're too expensive, or they have manufacturing defects, which is a whole ass nightmare. Regardless of whether you're neurodiverse like me and get easily frustrated, I mean, that would piss off a saint. And I don't really consider it to be worth it. Anything that requires a new graphics card at launch is probably really poorly optimized, and you could probably do just fine with what you had before, but you should be able to. Generally, there's nothing really worth upgrading to the new gen, like, right away. It's gonna take a while, and it's only gonna be, like, the biggest, most expensive to make games. Anything else will be fine. That's why I went ahead and got this card, because they had it there, and they're letting me pay in installments. There's no reason not to. I mean, maybe if you're a hardware content creator, and you need that review out like frame 1, then maybe it's worth it, but that's like such a small group of people that actually do stuff like that. And I'm definitely not in that position. I do benchmarks, yes. I do benchmarks, and I do Steam Deck settings videos, but those don't really require me to buy anything. They're things I'm already using. You know, like, I took it upon myself to find, like, almost all those settings for all those games, for the Musou games. You know that video did pretty well, because I was the only one that had the patience to do it. And I also had all the games already bought. The thing about benchmarks... The thing about benchmarks is a lot of the benchmark channels, they only play it for like 10 minutes and they say that it works fine. And a lot of times that's not the case. Especially with like action games and stuff. A good example of this is the FF7 remake. All the performance issues in that game are after you get out of the reactor. Meaning when you're actually out in the city. That's when all the stuttering and the performance issues happen. But I'm sure there are definitely some videos on here of people just playing the reactor and saying, oh, it runs great. I'm like, well, that's not really doing an accurate benchmark. At least for that game. That's what really sucked about that game, is that the port is not great. And it had a lot of shader compilation stutter, meaning once you got out into the city, it ran like really bad. It ran like trash. Yeah, my neighbor's brother is autistic like you, and he gets way more frustrated than I do. And he's not really at that space yet where he knows to, like, stop playing. No, he doesn't really play games, but stop getting upset. He doesn't really know how to do that yet. Yeah, I had somebody say I should have waited for the 50 series. I'm like, well, the 50 series is probably going to barely work. And generally, I usually go for mid-range cards. I don't go for top-of-the-line cards. I go for mid-range. Because for the most part, everything I play works fine. I'm definitely having some issues with this new build, but I'll fix them eventually. It's not going to be tonight. They will be fixed. But for the most part, everything seems to be working fine, and that's all that really matters. I think most people aren't really in the position to change graphics cards like they change their underwear. You can't just go to the dollar store and buy a new graphics card. There's never going to be a good time. I always say if you have the money, you should just do it. I actually don't have the money, but the computer shop is hooking me up and letting me pay in installments. So that's what's allowing me to do this without having to e-beg for donations and stuff. It's going to be tight on my mostly fixed income, but I'll still be able to do it. And whatever help I receive from you guys will just go towards either the bill every month or general survival or games or whatever. But I think that was a pretty successful stream. There's definitely some stuff that's not running like it should be, but I'll probably fix that in due time. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I actually got to reinstall a bunch of games as well, and I kind of need to like not be streaming to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Let me make a quick note of what I need to reinstall. All the Musou games for one. Grand Blue Relink. I haven't tried the new update for that because it came out when my computer was dead. Street Fighter 6 Akuma came out. I kind of want to try him. Valkyrie Elysium, I need to try that on the new rig, but that's going to require getting the Unreal Engine unlocker. And I have to go pay for that again, probably. Stranger of Paradise I need to try again. I might be able to do 120 FPS on that game now. What else? Dragon Ball. Neo 2 already worked fine, but could probably tweak up the settings a little bit more. The rest of the stuff I want to play is just indies that already work fine on the Steam Deck. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put some effort into that. I'll see you guys, well, let's see, what's going on today? I have to go maybe pick up my medication today, my crazy person pills. I might have to do that today. I don't know if they're going to have them today, but that's going to take up a decent chunk of the afternoon. And then I work at my neighbor's house tonight, so I don't know when there will be a computer stream, but there will definitely be a Steam Deck stream today. I'll probably play some Otherworld Legends, or I got a couple indie games I bought while I was not out of commission. Like I have Hades 2 I barely played, Pocky and Rocky the remaster, or basically it's a remake. Devil Blade Reboot I bought as well. This game I'll try once they fix the complete dog water optimization, but right now I don't want to touch this. Devil Blade Reboot is a really awesome shmup that runs perfectly on the deck, so I'll probably boot that up later. Megaton Musashi was running really weird for some reason. I have no idea why. I'm hoping I can maybe fix that, because I do want to make some videos for this, but seems like the port might have some issues. I'll run it by some people and figure it out. But yeah, good night everybody. Thanks for watching.